and welcome to Courts This Week, guys. I'm Sania from Live Law. From contempt action against comedian Kunal Kamra to a case against Prime Minister Narendra Modi challenging his election from Varanasi. This week, like many others, was pretty action-packed. Taking you through the Supreme Court updates first. New tweet against CJI. Attorney General consents for initiation of contempt against comedian Kunal Kamra. Responding to the request made by Advocate Anuj Singh, the AG said, the depiction of the two fingers with the legend that he means the middle one is for insulting the Chief Justice of India would equally be an insult to the Supreme Court of India itself, which the Chief Justice heads. Now, right after Arnab Goswami got a release order from Supreme Court, Kamra had made a couple of tweets against the Supreme Court, for which the AG granted consent for contempt as well. Siddiqui Kappan was using garb of journalism to disturb law and order in Hathras, UP government told Supreme Court. Now, this is the stand of the UP government before Supreme Court in the habeas corpus petition which has been filed alleging illegal detention of Kappan, who was arrested by UP police on October 5 along with 3 others in an FIR registered for alleged criminal conspiracy to create unrest in the wake of the Hathras incident. Then, stringent provisions of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act and sedition were invoked against him. Now, while the Kappan's counsel have maintained in court that he is not being allowed to meet his lawyers, the government has recorded a statement in court that this is not the case. There was never any objection and there is never going to be any objection, Solicitor General told the top court. The case will now come up for hearing next week. Supreme Court issues notice on Centre's challenge to Kerala High Court judgment which quashed preventive detention under Kofiposa Act. By the judgment delivered on February 19, the High Court had quashed the detention of Adnan Khalid and Faisal PA, who were held for gold smuggling. Before the top court, Additional Solicitor General K.M. Nataraj submitted that the Kerala High Court had exceeded its jurisdiction under Article 226. Waiver of loan interest. Sufficient relief granted, further intervention not needed, Centre told the Supreme Court. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta told top court that many relief packages and schemes had been worked out with technical experts, and the intervention of the court in the fiscal policy issues was uncalled for. The law officer informed court that the government was not oblivious to the stress suffered by various stakeholders, but there was no room to do anything beyond the constraint of finance. This case pertains to a batch of pleas filed for the extension of loan moratorium that ensued during the lockdown and consequent accruing interest. Right to education under Article 21A envisages the teachers must be meritorious and best of the lot. Supreme Court observed while dismissing the appeals filed by Uttar Pradesh Shiksha Mitra Association in a case related to the recruitment of 69,000 assistant teachers in the state of Uttar Pradesh. The fixation of cutoff at 65 to 60% in the ATRE 2019 was perfectly valid and justified. The bench said that for maintaining the standards of education in the schools, the National Council for Teachers' Education is specifically empowered to determine the qualifications of persons for being recruited as teachers in schools or colleges. Sudarshan TV's UPSC Jihad show not in good taste, likely to promote communal attitudes, said the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, cautioning the channel. Further, the ministry, by exercising its regulatory powers, has stated that the channel should review the content of future episodes of the program Bindas Bol with the tagline UPSC Jihad, and that the audio-visual content must be suitably moderated and modified so as to ensure that there is no violation of the program code. Prime Minister's office unique. Matter cannot be kept pending, said the Supreme Court, as it reserved order in plea against Narendra Modi's election from Varanasi. A bench led by Chief Justice S.A. Bobde said that the issue concerned with the most important office of the country, that is the PMO, and it cannot be kept pending indefinitely. This happened after the counsel for petitioners sought adjournments and passovers many times during the hearing. TSPE Act provision requiring states' consent for CBI investigation is in tune with federal structure of constitution, said the Supreme Court. Court said that the Central Bureau of Investigation cannot step into an investigation without a state government's consent, and the centre cannot extend the agency's jurisdiction to a state without permission either. The case in question pertained to a charge sheet filed against a company and some public officials by the CBI under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. The ruling comes at a time when 8 non-centre rule states have cancelled consent for CBI probes in their states. Unlike the NIA, which has a countrywide jurisdiction to take over any case related to terrorism, the CBI requires the consent of the state government under Section 6 of the DPSE Act. The Supreme Court has reiterated that a document is presumed to be genuine if the same is registered and the onus to prove otherwise is on the person who challenged the stated registered document. That there is a presumption that a registered document is validly executed. The court noted dictum laid down in its earlier judgments, noting that for shifting burden of proof, it would require more than merely pleading that the relationship is a fiduciary one, and it must be proved by producing tangible evidence. High courts and other courts now. He is almost on deathbed. Bombay High Court orders to shift Varavara Rao to Nanavati Hospital from prison. Court took note of the critical condition of the 81-year-old under trial Varavara Rao, who has been under judicial custody since August 2018, facing charges under the UAPA for links with Maoists in the Bhima Koregaon case, and directed that he be shifted to the super speciality hospital for 15 days. The bench further directed that he should not be discharged from the hospital without informing the court. The medical reports have also to be submitted before the court. The Calcutta High Court has denied permission to perform Chhath Puja celebrations at Subhash Sarobar, a lake which is situated in the eastern part of the city, amid the surging COVID-19 cases. The court has held that the Subhash Sarobar is a large water body and must remain totally out of bounds for Chhath Puja celebrations. While doing so, the court rejected an application moved by the West Bengal government seeking modification of the High Court order dated November 10, imposing an absolute ban on the performance of rituals at the Subhash Sarovar and Rabindra Sarovar. The Delhi High Court has allowed a petition filed by journalist Barkha Dutt seeking transfer of her criminal complaint against Analog Media, owned by Member of Parliament and Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal, to the Special MP-MLA Court in Rouse Avenue Court Complex. The present transfer petition pertained to the case filed by Barkha Dutt against Analog Media, which is owned by Senior Advocate and Congress leader Kapil Sibal and his wife, for sacking employees of Tiranga TV employees without any pay or notice period. Delhi High Court has restrained a bakery from using the mark Face Bake in a trademark suit filed on behest of Facebook. Court noted that if interim relief is not granted, Facebook's legal rights and business interests will be impacted. Court said that Facebook has made out a prima facie case in its favour, and the balance of convenience appears to be in favour of the plaintiff. No material to connect him with Al-Qaeda, Jharkhand High Court grants bail to Maulana, who was in jail for more than a year under UAPA charges for his alleged involvement in the activities of terrorist organisation Al-Qaeda. As per allegations against Maulana, he met 2 other co-accused at a madrasa, and subsequently the petitioner got some money from Gujarat for committing anti-national work as a jihadi. Well, that's all for this week. I hope this was helpful and informative. Please don't forget to hit like on it and share this video. May I also request you to subscribe to our channel. Thanks and see you next week. subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss a video from Live Law.